Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat Lucio on console. I think this guy is dipping in and out of diamonds like 2900, something like that. But if you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what sort of rates we're looking at, all that good stuff. So he says he's a Reddit Lucio. Let's see how his redditing looks. I'm not amazed with his pathing.
Ready for battle. The story of my life.
Oh, let's set our rewinds to be less.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Okay.
Objective A.
So you speed boosting them out. Sort of. You speed boosted them for like 1 second, and I get it. You're playing a Reddit Lucio. You're more going, hey, I want to do more offensive in their backline type contributions. I want to do less team support. That's not what's bothering me. What's bothering me is this pathing isn't particularly safe. Like, just sort of look from the enemy's perspective at your pathing. Oh, yeah? Okay. You sort of had rollout stuff there, but that was pretty easy pathing for them to track. You didn't do any sort of, hey, let me slide around in here. Like, you're already not offering your ore to your team. Okay, so that's a thing. Oops, let's show you exactly what I mean. Here you are. Okay. Are you shooting at the opponents? If you're shooting at the opponents, maybe you can justify being out here. You're, doing this to get the extra ult charge, to get your beat faster, and you count on having better beats than the opponents have for their support ults. That could be value. You didn't shoot at the opponents at all. So how do we justify going out here rather than sliding in here, doing our wall ride through here, and then hopping on this side of the tree, and then hopping over on this, and then going through here, and then working our way up and over, or whatever we want to do there? Like, why are we presenting ourselves for our opponents to shoot at us when our teammates aren't really serious threats yet? Like, yes, the opponents would sort of like to shoot at them, but the opponents are backing up, which means you're really the only thing that they could shoot at for most of that, until Doomfist showed up, but you were across there first. So, like, as they're backing up, you're the only thing they can see, and you're doing this in the open. And it might be like, oh, but I'm Lucio, I move fast. Yeah, but they get better and better with their aim. Like, Lucio takes advantage of the fact that while he's a threat, your other allies, like your McCree, your Doomfist, your Roadhog in the face, your Reinhardt in the face, whatever, are bigger threats that have to be dealt with. And for the amount of effort it takes to deal with you compared to what you do, you can be super annoying because they don't really want to pay attention to you until you're up in their grill already messing with them. If you present yourself as the only thing to be shot at, you can still very much get deleted. Okay, so this is early but safe. I don't mind it. Okay, and they're doing stuff. Your team is clearly doing stuff, so you should already be down there doing stuff. Hey, Semitic. That could be dropping down here and booping them closer to your Zarya. They wouldn't particularly like that. They wouldn't particularly like that at all. That could be standing up here and just plinking the Zen or the Ashe in the back of the head. Those would be fine. If they're not going to look at you, you don't even have to move. Great. Why are you on the ground? Yes, you wanted to finish that Zen off, but you finished the Zen off by shooting from here. You didn't need to drop if he wasn't going to look at you, and if the people are going to look at you, you still weren't going to drop. You were going to drop onto this wall and slide across this wall and be shooting at him while you're wall riding. Take advantage of your faster movement speed on the wall. Don't drop onto the ground. This isn't Reddit Lucioing. This is just flanking that you're doing right now. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. You're on the ground. You let him hit you with damage, and now the soldier's easily going to finish you. And it didn't have to be this way. They didn't turn early. You could have done more damage to that Zen before he turned, and then you could have been on this wall where you move faster. You move less predictably because you can keep going across the wall. You can drop on the wall. You can hop a little on the wall. You can change directions on the wall. You can change the speed that you're moving with your ores. Instead, you're on the ground. On the ground, yuck. It's gross. Oh. Your Lucio is scared of heights too? Seems to be a common thing below, I don't know, Masters? That's not true. For Lucio one tricks, they get it much faster, but for people who just dabble in Lucio, it seems to not be present until Diamond or Masters.
Push off. I'm feeling some good vibrations. Wheel up. I'm taking the check. Whoa, you want some?
Okay. Little unfortunate that you didn't reload during the bubble and instead shot the bubble, but hey.
Pick it up. Oh, incoming. See through.
What's this? What's that amp for? I don't mind using amp for your red itself, that's totally fine with me, but I want the amp that you use for your red itself to help your dives, to help your fighting people. I don't want you to use your amp back here. Your amp is part of your dive. It's your dive cooldown for, aha, I'm over here, and now I have the amp to help me sustain, to get me in on my target more, to get me out, to change, to let me bounce from a place that I couldn't normally bounce from. Like, you're not just looking to go, oh yeah, I'll just do whatever I want in terms of amping back there. It's not just, hey, I go faster, I get to the enemies faster. It's you use your amp when you're in danger or when you need it to occur it to hit a jump that you can't usually hit.
That's not right.
I feel like this guy needs a voice line tied to something. Make him tilt. Ah. That's what you meant.
Move to the beat.
That you didn't check that doorway is surprising to me. Okay, okay. Not the Roadhog, not the Roadhog. Like, if you're just trying to farm ult, you can go for the Roadhog, but I think you were trying to be more annoying than that. Okay.
Push off.
Okay, but why aren't you on the wall? If you were on the wall, you could get out of here. If you'd been on the wall, if you'd literally been on this wall, you'd be moving faster. You'd have already been here. You'd have already been able to get over there. Like, the wall makes you move faster. It matters.
I am moving the payload. Falling
Beat. Oh, incoming. I am loving this.
He did see the Reaper walk right by him. I know.
My ultimate is almost ready.
It's silly, but hey. Like, high five the Reaper as he passed. Yeah, he did. He's like, hey, we're different teams, but it's cool.
That's not right.
No, it's not. Like, I remember when you couldn't stick to the same wall for more than 3 seconds, so you had to learn every single piece of geometry for what counts as a new wall and what you were going to jump off of, and it's, you know, wonky, and the speed, and when his speed aura was different, and ugh.
escorting the payload.
Oh. Time to accelerate. Wheel up.
But are you particularly accurate with his Lucio weapon when you're not wall riding? Because I agree, adding the wall ride where he's moving faster makes it harder to aim with him. But are you a particularly good shot with him when you're on the ground, when you're not moving? Because that's something you need to practice in training, not in game, in training. And then you need to take it the level up to get the high gun. Because the way that your Lucio curve works is first, people start and they're just terrible with his weapon. Then they have to get good with his weapon. And then they're okay with his weapon. And then they need to get good at wall riding. And it's harder to hit stuff at first when you're wall riding because, hey, you're moving fast. Like, this is different. I can't just stay still and hit stuff. I can't just, like, AD in the same general area and hit stuff either. Like, it's harder. I'm moving, and I have to be thinking about using my directions, thinking about the wall. That makes it harder. And then you realize, wait, now it's actually become easier because I'm getting to shoot people from above. I'm getting to shoot around Rhine shields. I'm getting to hit headshots more easily from up here. So, like, there's a curve to understanding and getting your Lucio down. But he is a hero that you actually need to practice the weapon mechanics on. Because if you just try to go, I'm going to get wall riding without any weapon mechanics, you're not going to hit very many shots. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do your wall riding, and it doesn't mean you should, like, play on the ground until you get your weapon mechanics down. It means you should, you know, if you're playing, I'm sure, do your wall riding correctly, because, hey, headshots are still great. The defense it offers you is still really important, but also go work on his shot mechanics.
Oh, turn it up.
Okay, so that was a better use of amp, honestly, than we've probably seen so far from you. Now, I don't love that, you're having to travel through an open space against a Zen there, but this is the right idea. You're using it to help you dive to get through a dangerous part. Okay, you're not leading those shots. Please lead those shots. Yeah. You also probably wanted to swap this amp. So here we are. You're on speed. You hit your amp. Okay. I would have swapped 2 heals while dropping here, so you can jump off and now just swap to heals. While you're falling through the air, there's no reason not to be on heals. Be on heals. You're not doing anything on speed here. You're not doing anything on speed here. Be on heals. And really, you could still be on heals, but if you swapped back to speed at this point, it wouldn't bother me. And just because you weren't doing it, you know that this pillar is here. Why did you not, you did this into the Zen, but why did you not then hop backwards onto this pillar, which would then have let you hop across onto this and keep moving? Like, there were ways to do this. You were still probably going to go down here, but hey, you could have gotten the Zen for sure. Yeah, I mean, you have to have mechanics to make Reddit Lucio work. You have to have wall riding and you have to have some aim. You don't have to have amazing aim and you don't have to have amazing mechanics if you go low enough on the ladder, or you go console where, aim is meh. But you do still need to have some of it for it to work. The playstyle is more mechanic heavy than support bot Lucio. Though support bot Lucio also eventually learns he needs to have mechanics and but you just provide even less value. You provide some value playing with Team Lucio without any mechanics. You provide no value playing Reddit Lucio without any mechanics. Please use the wall. Please use the wall. Let's re-go over this. Why did you use amp out of spawn? You didn't need this. You might need this amp for later, like, oh, hey, this fight that you're about to go into. This could be a good thing to have amp for. There's a wall. Why are you here? Why are you not just hopping your way, working your way up this to get up here so that you can ride across and then do your work from here? Like, or slide your way over here and get them from behind. Like, height is your friend, and I don't like your, oh, I'm Reddit Lucioing, running it down mid. Please stop running it down mid. Please start taking a little bit of high ground with your wall riding. Imagine how much easier that Zen would have been if you'd come from above on the right. Imagine how much easier that Zen would have been if you'd had your amp, for the beginning of that fight, as opposed to having used your amp out of spawn like this. Don't peek yet. Don't peek yet. You still have Discord up. And why are you so far from a wall? You don't have a wall that you can change your mind and stick to right now. You want to stick closer to walls, like this, like this. Walls give you options, even if you choose not to latch onto them. Interesting. Okay. Oh, almost. Almost. Okay. But you're going to heal here, right? Because I don't see where you're going to go with this speed. Are you just speeding out in the... No, you can't amp speed out in the open and think it helps you. Amping speed makes you more evasive, but the wall is still more important. The amp speed and the wall. Oh, and the wall. You can't just be out here ground Lucioing it up.
Elementary application.
Let's up the tempo.
Stop amping out of spawn might make the list. Jeez. Jeez. What is this? You now don't have amp. You have no idea what your team's level of credible threat is. You're running it right down mid. Where's your wall? Where's your wall? You can't jump into this. You could try to jump over here. You could have tried to cross and jump over here earlier. Like, you could have come at a different angle, crossed over here, and jumped over here. But this had to be a latch onto this wall to get out of here. Like, that's what this had to be. You can't just jump into this. You shouldn't even be pushing right now because your team isn't a credible enough threat. This isn't when you, like, even tracers aren't going to go, yes, I'm here, and now let me triple blink here to get through. No, no, even tracers understand that, hey, I need my team to be a little bit of a threat for me in order to get through a lot of the time. You do too. You do too. Lucio tried to solve world hunger. Jeez. No, stop boosting out of spawn.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
I think the Zarya is ultimately going to get this beat, but ooh, this is painful. This is painful. Okay, I know you're on console, but you can have a headset on console. It might be a little bajanky cell phone console, one earbud type thing, but you can still say into it, push push push, I'll beat, push push push, I'll beat, push, something like that. Like you can say that if you want to get offensive beat value. That's totally fine. But your team has to actually be pushing for you to get offensive beat value, or your beat needs to be I'm going to be super greedy, and I'm going to go for an elimination on their backline, 1v2 or whatever. Maybe I'm really going to try hard to get the brig, and to sustain me, I'm going to beat, and then beat based off the beat, even if it got me and barely helped my team at all, only helped a couple of them, it's still okay, because I'm, with that beat, forcing my elim in the 1v2 and actually getting it. That can be worth doing. That's a Reddit Lucio thing. You will see that. That would be what you would see out of some of the Lucios that are famous for the Reddit Lucioing, including some of the ones who pioneered the style. That wouldn't be getting objections for me. A very greedy personal beat that you are actually using to get an elimination, no problem. This isn't getting you an elimination. This isn't getting you personally an elimination. It's not enabling your team to, brawl harder and helping them get eliminations. This is worthless. So you either hit your beat when your team is actually in can do work to counter an ult, or you use your beat in their backline when you have already gotten someone to the point where if you beat, you will for sure eliminate them. Not there at 80% life, but like, hey, they're out of cooldowns and at 30% life, but they got you down to 50% life and there's two of them I'm going to beat, and now I can definitely sustain to finish them and they're doomed. Those are the ways you want to think about your beat. Not, I can't get through, so I'm going to use beat to give me enough cover to walk. Which is effectively what happened there. And you're probably thinking, no, Temporal, what are you talking about? I used beat, and my team pushed and won the fight. It's great. And I got the Zen off of that beat. This is bad. You're probably thinking that that's what happened. It's not. It's not. Like, that was doable for them without that beat. Or maybe they did need that beat. But if they needed that beat, I promise that beat could have come 2 seconds later and been even more effective. Fine. Fine with me. No. Why are you so far from a wall? Well, no. Why are you so far from a wall? And why are you on heal or speed or in the air? I like neither of these things. Oh, you forced your own amp just because you didn't use your walls. You don't need to fight him. If he's got a Harmony Orb, you're doing your job. You can fight him much more passively than you are. Back to heal. No, why are you on speed? You need to be on heal. Fine. Like, can we please be on heal now? Please? Now that you have a teammate to enable that's at full health, you're on heal when you could have been on heal the whole time, and now that you have a teammate to enable that's at full health, been on speed?
Let's up the tempo. That's not right.
What? You're discorded. Please be on a wall. Please be on a wall. Thank you.
Nothing's gonna stop.
Okay.
You hear that?
You used amp correctly. And you earned the elimination for it. Thank you. Thank you. Now, there was obviously some questions about should I really be pushing in this deep? You know, it's not like my Hog still has control, or my Doomfist or whatever it was still has control over here. Should I really push this deep? And the answer is no. But that you were able to get that elimination in the first place, and that this wasn't like 100% of feed, it was only 90% of feed, was because you were able to use your amp. You had it. You're going to find you can't do those if you're constantly using your amp out of spawn.
Walkie talk.
Hey there.
I mean, I hear you, Semitic, but I don't think anyone else on his team was going to get him. Was going to get that Zen except our Lucio player here, so. Wall. 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 The floor is lava. Come on, wall. Is there a reason that you can't be on this wall? That you can't transition to this wall? That you can't be playing up over here to do your work? That you can't switch your way over to here to do your work? Is there a reason? Is there a reason that you feel the need to just be ground Lucioing here? This isn't good. Okay. So you speed your team out because they have Transcendence going and we don't like it. No problem. That is not speed.
Here, let's pick it up.
Oh, I'm directionally wrong. I forgot you were behind them. That's fine. You didn't need to speed your team out. You were right. Okay, so now you're gonna go get that Zen? Cool.
Oh, this is my jam.
And now you have this to help you get out. Are you going to boop the Reaper away as you do this? No, you're just going to jump into the middle. Ooh, boy, yikes. You had no right to dodge that hook.
Thanks.
Do not take a poke fight with us. Do not take a poke fight next to the opponent's spawn with a soldier at medium range that is paying attention to you. He beats you. He beats you. Just leave. Just leave. You're totally fine. Go be over here where the only person who can challenge you is the Lucio. Or they have to take forever on a rotation to come challenge you, and by then you could be who knows where. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. And you needed to boop that Lucio. You literally needed to flick your joystick to this direction and boop that Lucio. Like, you had to do that. No, now your boop isn't good enough. Now your boop still has him in here.
You hear that?
You're not booping the Lucio to try to get the damage on him. You were booping him to try to get him off the wall and keep him away from you. Yeah. Okay, that's better. The McCree's not paying attention to you that you're shooting at, and now you're done, because he's going to pay attention to you. Gonna speed your hog? Gonna go speed your hog?
Oh.
Yeah, go speed your hog.
Accelerate.
You and Hog could make a pretty nasty little duo coming down from here together and just being like, nope, fast-running Hog coming around doing stuff with, you know, chirpy, annoying Lucio up here doing stuff too. That could have been pretty scary.
Let's get you healed up. Push on. Incoming.
I'm not sure why you were on heal where the flux was going off. Like, even if you're going, hey, I don't care about my team, this is all for me. Oh, it was your Doomfist, fine. Still, you'd generally be on speed for this. I'm not sure why you're on heals. Okay. You gonna boop to contain him? Boop a little to the right to contain him? You actually wanted to use the boop to contain him over here a little bit more, and you can control where you aim your boop to control where they go a little, but that's fine.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
No?
Yeah, time to heal up.
I mean, okay.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
I like this less. It's going to save your life, but is it going to then lead to you getting an elimination?
Oh, time to accelerate.
No. Why aren't you on a wall? Like, that health doesn't last forever. And this RV is right here that you could have been playing with, using as your wall, riding around, riding back, playing on this corner of, like...
Healing
Oh yeah, you got hooked while you were on the ground. That happens.
Let's roll. Incoming. Nothing's gonna stop.
I can push if that would help.
Okay, that's fine.
I can use some help.
I don't really think you needed to stay here, so that you did.
Oh, you hear that?
Questionable amp. But use the last second of this amp, you're healed. Use the last second of this amp to go speed, and be riding these walls to get through here faster.
Oh, time to accelerate.
Hog should be able to pretty reliably hook a Lucio and Plat. Yeah, that's mostly true.
Oh, incoming.
Amp is a very valuable cooldown, yeah.
Oh, incoming.
Okay. You're not over there to give them speed, which is annoying, but hey. Yeah, you're confident you can out-mechanic him. There you go. This is what you want. I like it. Good.
Check this
'Kay.
out. I am on fire.
Yeah, that's fine. It's reasonable to stabilize your team with amp heals here. I would like you to try to get more of them. You can actually count as touching the cart, even being a little off the cart, and I'd have liked you... Like, you had enough low health people to justify the amp, but, like, get over a little bit to actually make sure he gets your aura. Okay. Not to mention look this way to make sure that you can boop the Sigma away so that he doesn't count as touching. But hey,
0 to 3. Switching sides.
okay. Are there any spare buttons left over for spamming voice lines on console? I don't know, Helix.
Ready for battle.
He won a couple Lucio duels. I think he was pretty confident that he could out-mechanic the Lucio.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So, I wasn't bothered by that remotely.
Attackers incoming.
Okay, fine. I'd have wanted you out here sooner so that they were less likely to see you setting up over here. But hey. Okay, you gonna shoot from up here? Or are you gonna be stealthy? If your plan was to shoot, you were way late on when your first shots got out. And you actually are going to struggle to hit those targets. You're better off just going, hey, I'm going to chip the Winston. Like, in this setup, what you're generally going to do is you're just going to go, I'm going to chip the Winston. I'm going to chip the Winston so that he never feels comfortable diving because he's always at 80% life, something like that. Because he's both a much easier target for you to hit. I say that after you've hit some shots on this Anna, which is nice. He's a much easier target for you to hit, and, like, their win condition just never starts if their Winston never feels like he has enough health to dive. So that's a good one for you. But okay, you hit the Anna, so I'm not going to complain. You got the nade. Good stuff. Don't love reloading with the sightline open. Still want to be on the walls. Don't want to take a ranged fight with a pocketed Ash and an Anna. Don't want to do it, especially without walls. Like, shooting at them when they weren't paying attention to you, great. Shooting at them when you had a bajillion distance and speed to you, which, again, I would have just said shoot at the Winston, fine. This, not so much.
Oh, you hear that?
Interesting. That works for me. Cool. Good stuff. And now you wanted the Ana, but the Mercy's going to show up. So are you going to swap to the Mercy, or are you going to stay on the Ana? Oh, your Doomfist is here. Okay, cool. But you don't have Amp, so you go down to Tracer now. There's Amp.
I am loving this.
You did need to speed for a moment here until you're around the corner. And then you needed to be on heals, and this is the appropriate flip. I'm surprised you opened with... Really? You have Boop. You went with shots melee? Okay, you still think you're winning this duel. You're not trying to keep him out. You're not trying to slow this down. You are still going, I want to win this. Okay. Yeah, that was late. This would have been a shots Boop or a Boop right off the bat situation when Tracer rounded the corner. Cool. That's got to be so annoying to Tracer that Doomfist has a Lucio bodyguard. Like, Tracer is one of the better checks to Doomfist, but not when he's got a Lucio bodyguard. Of course, that means there's a support somewhere Tracer can go pick on, but still. Really? You didn't take shots on the way down? You didn't do the, as I'm falling on you, I'm going to hit 4 headshots, like easy headshots as I'm falling on you?
Oh, turn it up.
Okay. Do you want the Reaper? Don't get this close to the... Okay, he's not looking at you.
Feel the
No.
heat.
Why did you miss sticking to the traffic light here and then bouncing? Like, there's stuff.
Move to the beat.
Okay, speed on the wall. Speed when you touch the wall for just a second. Speed as you're popping off of this wall, and then back to heels in the air. Heels in the air, not speed. And then when you touch the ground, you can go back to speed. That's fine. Why are you not 180'd wall riding here and shooting at them as you ride away? Shooting at them as you ride away. Like, you can do it. I believe in you.
Healing boost. Nothing's gonna stop me.
I wouldn't necessarily get that close to the Winston. Winston is a really good target for you, and Diva's an okay target for you when you're just riding up here, chipping them down, making it so that they struggle to dive. When you're getting closer, going for these supports, pestering them, getting the backline eliminations is great. When you're up here, I would really recommend take your shots at the easy-to-hit Winston there.
Let's move it, people.
Okay. They're going to try to push off of this. You're going to be up here to get a boop to slow down their initiation, preferably to cancel the Winston jump that will come through to try to take up here. Okay. That's fine. You let the Diva pass because your boop doesn't do enough to her. No, you just say, forget it. I don't care about your initiation. Even though you have a belt going, I'm going to get your Ana. Nice. Okay.
You feel that?
And now you're thinking I'm going to spawn camp. Okay.
Heal up.
You're going to have to let the first one by. You can amp. Oh, you can't amp. What did you
Heal up.
use your amp for? Oh, yuck. What is this? Gross. 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 You can't be here without your amp. No. No, your amp is not just to move. Oh my goodness. There's a couple specific rollouts that you'll use your amp for that are actually going to turn into extra damage that you'll do. But by and large, your amp is not just to move you when you're not in any danger like this. Your amp is to get you out, to let you dive harder, to let you sustain harder. Like, the amp is to help you be aggressive or to get you out. It is not like I'm going to go setup tool with very few exceptions.
Here, let's pick it up.
You're deep in enemy territory, as deep as you can be in enemy territory, without your best cooldown.
Looks like they were just playing me.
I mean, in a Masters game, Plat, they'd be spending a lot of time in the spawn room, but the reality is they're not going to get to Masters until their decision-making gets a bit better, and then this playstyle, with better decision-making, with less, in the open, still lots of backline pestering, still lots of being annoying, is still going to work, and they're going to be probably they are going to be more dangerous than many Lucios that you see in Masters, but that's only after they've actually built the decision making to get there. For now, they'd get crushed, but so would any Plat Lucio. Just differently. He'd spend more time in spawn, I suppose, than the normal Plat Lucio in Masters would, but, the normal Plat Lucio would still get their crossfades terribly wrong, would still be way too slow on beats, like...
Oh, let's break it.
No. No. I do not believe that you're going to use this beat to confirm an elimination.
Push on. Raising the volume.
Okay. Back to speed,
Up the
please.
tempo.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
60 seconds remaining.
Lucio finally got his revenge.
Double time. Oh, incoming.
Stop the payload.
Double time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Ha. Sinistro.
I don't know about the Sam.
Need some help?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're doing this, heal in the air, but you are touching this, and when you retouch these walls to pop off of, you do potentially want to get speed for a moment to help you pop off of them. Yeah, you didn't necessarily want to drop in the middle of this, but okay. Why are you dropping on this? You don't need to drop on this. Okay.
Mounting power to forward shield.
Raising the volume.
Why? Why are you popping your amp here? Your amp is your dive cooldown. Where was your boop? Where was your boop? You go no, Lucio, and you boop him away as he's coming at you through the air.
Hey, nothing's gonna. I am loving this.
Okay.
Double time. Let's get you healed
Back
up.
to heals, fine. Could have still been on heals. Could have gotten that last health back.
Nice.
Okay. Are you going to pester Reaper, or are you going to make Winston very uncomfortable? Diva. Diva's not really the choice. It usually is Winston, because chipping Diva has value, don't get me wrong, but chipping Winston actually stops their engagement. Like, it actually stops them from playing in any way to their win condition. Plus, armor versus no armor, and you're happy to go. You do multiple shots, so you're happy to shoot at the target that has much less armor.
Oh, oh, oh. Down
We
here.
knew that was coming. Okay. Now back to heals. Yep. Back to heals in the air, please. Heals. You don't need speed anymore.
Oh, we're coming.
Immortality field destroyed.
Cool. Cool.
Turn it up.
Why are you on the ground? Why are you not up over here as you're doing this? Why are you not thinking about, hey, do I need to go over here to do this? Do I need to ride on through here to do this? Do I need to ride through here and look for if by the time I get here, there's the opportunity to boop someone into my team to be taken out?
Everyone, heal up.
60 seconds remaining.
I still hate that you're just in the middle of the ground here. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, let's break it.
What?
Damn!
What? 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 You were fine. You were absolutely fine. That's like the tracer that just goes, I feel slightly uncomfortable and I don't know why. I'll hit blink, except turned up to 100.
Oh, this is my jam. Okay.
Self only beat when you were in no danger.
30 seconds.
Boost.
Cool.
Push on. Oh, yeah.
Didn't need to amp this remotely. You had 155 health. You were totally fine with standard heal aura and just doing some sniping from up here.
Using the immortality.
10 seconds.
I found him.
Why are you amping heals?
Oh. Time to accelerate.
I would so much rather you have your amp to whatever
Yeah, time to heal
to
up.
get out of this situation. But heck, or to go back into this situation when your team is ready. Either one. Okay. You're going to ignore the Lucio and go for the Ana. The Lucio is definitely going to bother you. You're not going to finish this. The Lucio is going to bother you too much.
Hand here. Oh, yeah.
Skeptical on that amp.
Move to the beat. This.
Okay.
This is
Use the
gonna make
cart.
feel
You
better.
have to bounce off to the wall. You better not stay on this cart. Okay, you're swapping to Hanzo. Wall. 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 Good. Now get higher on the wall. Oh. Okay.
Victory.
Okay. So your amp is the biggest issue. Your amp CD, you need to understand that this is your dive cooldown. This would be like going in without this is like a Tracer going in with no blinks, or a Genji dashing into a fight against a full health Reinhardt. It's not like, no, that's not how the hero works. Or maybe dashing into a fight against a full health Winston would be a better example. Like that's not how it works. This is your dive CD. I'm totally fine with Reddit Lucioing. I'm totally fine playing hyper aggressive, going to disproportionately mess up or even eliminate their backline. Great, fine with me. But when you're going in, when you're getting risky, when you're making plays, you need to have your amp available. Maybe you won't have to use your amp, but you need to have your amp available when you get greedy like that. That's big. You cannot just be using your amp to go, hey, I'm going to go ahead and use my amp after we've wiped them to get from here to here. is not a thing. I'm going to use my amp out of spawn every single time. Like, no, okay, maybe you didn't do it every single time, but almost every single time you used amp, and I think probably every time you used amp right out of spawn. Amp out of spawn on King of the Hill when the point is unlocking neutral is correct. Amp out of spawn every time is not correct. If you're amping out of spawn, it better be because you're hitting a very specific rollout to get you access to somewhere that takes forever to get access to without amp, or is too dangerous to get access to without amp. Like, amp for just general movement should not be the main way that you're looking to to use it. Amp for, hey, I have this to help me with dives is what I'm looking for. So please be more conscious of your amp cooldown. It is actually a pretty long cooldown. So that's going to be the first thing. The second thing that we're going to look at is going to be your beats. So again, you have what we could call an extra allowable way to use beat. It's fine if you use beat in the more standard ways of, hey, I'm countering an ult, or hey, my team is aggressing. I'm going to let my team aggress for a couple seconds, and then before we lose anyone, I'm going to beat to protect them. Or the other team beated and is aggressing into us. I'm going to let them do that for a bit, and then before we lose anyone, I'm going to beat as the turnaround ult. Like, those are all fine ways to use speed. You have the added way as a Reddit Lucio of going, hey, I'm in the back line, I'm doing work, I'm diving deep, I'm fighting someone, I'm having to 1v2, I'm having to 1v3, maybe I got one and I want to go for more, maybe I'm close to getting one, I'm definitely going to get one if I have an extra 700 health, boom, and you pop that beat, and that beat does guarantee you that you get that elimination. That's fine. That's using it as an offensive ult. Now, you might be the only one to get it. It might happen to apply to 2 other people on your team. You don't really care. As long as you're using that beat to go, I'm using this to get an elimination, similar to how Tracer might use it to get a pulse bomb, except yours has to be higher probability than pulse bomb when you use it, because pulse bomb is a very fast charging ult, whereas beat is a very slow charging ult. But if you use it like that, I'm not going to object. You, on the other hand, did a beat by the enemy spawn. You did a beat just in the open. You had bad beats. Like, you had bad beats. So work on your amps. These are specifically something that you want to either hit dives, sustain you on dives, or get out of dives. These are something that you want for duels, not things that you use to go set up for the next fight. And these have to either be counter ults, they have to be, the team is hard engaging off of it, or it has to be this guarantees, and I mean very high probability, like, 90+% chance that I'm getting an elimination myself if I use this beat greedily on me in the backline. And an elimination that I wouldn't get without it, I should be clear. It's not like, oh, I can beat because I'm going to get this elimination. Well, if you were going to get the elimination anyway, just get the elimination. It needs to buy you an elimination. And, it needs to not buy you an elimination in what's already a 6v3 in your team's favor, or a 3v6 in the opponent's team favor, because that's not useful. Okay, those are the 2 things I'm going to tell you to work on. There's some more stuff we could do about you aren't quite as much on walls as I'd like. You don't shoot shots early enough when you're on walls. When your point isn't clearly to stealth, you aren't hiding that you're on the wall, but you're slow to take shots. So there's a couple things that we could get into, but these are the 2 main ones I'd give you to work on right now. Please do work on them one at a time with like 5 to 15% of your brain power. Get one, then work on the other one, work it into your gameplay. Okay, let's take a look at catching up on chat here. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as it helps me out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what sort of rates we have, what sort of promos are going on, all that stuff. Okay. BM, 100% trolling. Temporal may hate it, but I think it's rad as hell. What do you think I hate? I mean, I'm almost defeated by the beat. The beat that I saw almost defeated me by their spawn. Sure. Yeah, no, Ryan decided to chase Lucio. Silly, I know. I know on PC a lot of Lucios have jump down to right click and scroll down. Is there some equivalent change to controls for console? If so, I'm afraid I don't know it. Tilted them into C9ing, Lucio carry. I'm still so happy we saw a BM beat. No, you don't need to. No, you guys are wrong. Oh well. Um, okay. Okay. Lucio does need to preempt shots. Lucio does need to lead shots. But this guy's mechanics were fine, especially at close to medium range. I didn't have an issue at all with this guy's aim. Like, could it be better? Of course it could be better. But you can already tell, compared to the Lucio he's playing against at this SR, he had meaningfully better aim. Okay. Okay, you guys are having your way, having too much fun. We're gonna call it here. Remember, if you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Temporal out.